Morning to the respected dais, all guests and participants. I'm Naveen Sona. I'm posted as district collector in Varda. Uh, Varda has been in the forefront of this whole DPT process. I'll quickly give you a rundown on what we have done and some of the issues which we have been tackling. Especially, we are in the last mile level. Actually getting the thing running on the ground. We are quite ahead in the game. Now, Varda's got about 13 lakh population, and out of which we are close to 91% plus enrollment, and about 84 to 85% is already cards have reached. So that's a tremendous amount of penetration of UID. And the other side is that it is an FI district, it's a financial inclusion district from the Swabhiman program days. So we've got almost 10.5 lakh bank accounts. So I mean, given multiple bank accounts put together, we see not less than 7 lakh individual bank accounts. And there are 168 bank branches, and putting all these things together, it became a good choice for DBT. Initially, we started on our own. We did the social assistance program of Maharashtra. One taluka was totally put on DBT. This was DBT before the DBT term got coined. So initially, we were on a couple of pilots. In fact, let me give you the range. So Varda, before the the DBT is basically a planning commission initiative, about 34 schemes, out of which 8 scholarship schemes we are doing. Then we are having Janani Suraksha Yojana from the health sector, that is for institutional delivery support. Then we are having most importantly, we are having we've got kerosene subsidy coming up. We will be one of the few districts first where the kerosene subsidy is coming up. Second, we are launching next week. In fact, we are launching the LPG subsidy. And then we are the only district in Maharashtra which has got the fertilizer subsidy, which is called the MFMS, Mobile Fertilizer Monitoring System of. Now we have got NREGA to do in July. And we are starting with the national pensions also, and this is the full range of activities which we are doing. Now at the field perspective, I'll just go in a systematic manner and run through, because even I could speak a lot more on each of the contribution each of the person on the dais could do to actually solve our problems on the field. The first is the digitized database was mentioned. Now this scenario in Maharashtra is quite good because, like, I'll give you an example, e-scholarships. Maharashtra is one of the few states which has got a complete digitized online system for accepting scholarships. The beneficiaries for the SC, ST, OBC categories, they go online, they fill up the form online, and it is already, in a sense, it was a non-Aadhaar based DBT was already there existing in Maharashtra. So the money would go directly into the bank account. The only thing we have done in that case is put the Aadhaar into the chain. This is making sure that the person is the right person. So it's a tremendous thing. We could do a lot of transactions in the e-scholarships immediately. In fact, interestingly, what we did is actually capture the Aadhaar online. So the seeding of the database, in fact, happened online directly from the beneficiaries, which happened very rapidly. Now, other databases are there's a ERCMS software for ration cards. There's a NSAP online software of Government of India for beneficiaries of social assistance pensions. Then NREGA is completely, NREGA soft is online. We got MFMS, which is a new system which has been created. I'd like to share with the dais and the audience also. It's a very interesting system where earlier the fertilizer subsidy used to be given to the manufacturers. and whatever they reported was lifted, it was assumed as to be correct, and the subsidy was going to the manufacturers. Now we have done it in 3 stages. Phase 1, the subsidy is going to come down to the wholesalers. Phase 2, it will be at the retailer, and phase 3 is going to the actual to the beneficiary, the farmer who's going to lift the fertilizer. So what they have done is made a very interesting system. The Department of Fertilizers created a mobile application in which every sale, the sale is being captured, actual quantity is being captured via mobiles now in Wardha. The distributors and the retail shop owners have been trained. Every time they make a sale, they are going to log on that even if they don't have internet connectivity, the mobile coverage is good. So we are tracking every ton, every kg, every bag of fertilizer coming into Wardha now. I mean, the sale is being captured. The next stage is that sale is going to be linked to actual consumption, who's going to consume how much, and the amount would directly go into the beneficiary's account. Now, LPG, the oil marketing companies have a database. So a lot of digital databases and online databases are already there. Now the problem is now seeding that database. Initially we tried an experiment which is we call the inorganic seeding. It was an innovation of Wardha. We have a technology partner who developed a software which does a mapping based on the names. It was Unicode compliant and translation compliant. Transliteration was used. So phonetics based names were matched, and almost 90% plus accuracy of name matching. And in fact, some of the banks also started seeding based on this inorganic method, which was, and it is an accuracy map. And further validation was done by calling up the customer. If there are 2 names, or by SD Joshi, then both the SD Joshis, if they are in the account, they used to be contacted by the bank, and the further authentication was done. So inorganic seeding was done. Now, of course, DOFS has issued a circular saying there are 2 ways how the seeding in the banks are going to happen. Now, the customer goes to the bank and gives the UID number. That's one way. Customer goes to the service provider or the line agency, and he or she gives the bank account number and the UID number, let's say for LPG. Now the problem is, I'll take an example of LPG. People are not willing to give their bank account numbers to a LPG dealer. Would any of us go to a fair price shop, ration card guy, would we like to give our bank account number? I wouldn't give it. So here comes the problem. Who's going to capture the bank account numbers? So now there is a big debate going on, and people are going to the banks, but better systems are required. Capturing the UID number and the bank account number should go together, and there should be a mechanism where this is exchanged. Now, LPG, they are thinking of a drop box facility where the people will come and put the account number, it will be sealed, bankers will open it, distribute it amongst their own banks, and it will get seeded. Now the Planning Commission has been calling up all the district collectors. Wardha especially's experiment is closely watched directly by the Planning Commission. Now they are thinking of a new system which we have kind of actively involved in developing, where it is in fact my very strong opinion that banking system should have access to this whole thing, like what was mentioned earlier. Now we have got UID, CIDR on one side, we have CBS, we have the online databases of the line departments, and only at the time of payment they are talking to each other. I mean, in that too in a sequential manner. So suppose if I go to my bank and put my UID number in the CBS, that does not immediately update my line department's database. If I put my bank account in the line department database, that same bank account is not verified and all the data is not migrated to the thing. So there is a lot of scope for integrating all these things together, and we are suggested to the Planning Commission and Ministry of Finance that some kind of a meta software common link has to be established where everything is talking to each other, and the person can seed directly into the CIDR. Maybe some will go to the bank, some will go to the SRDH. SRDH is the State Resident Data Hub. So seeding of bank account and seeding of the Aadhaar number ought to be simplified so that it could be scaled up, because we cannot have it in different systems. That is the experience in the seeding part of it. Now Varda is, in most of the things we are close to 70%, 60 to 70% range of seeding has already done, and rest we are sending people and validating them on the field also and on a sample basis. Now some of the developments which are very critical, what we have done, I'll just share in a minute. Now Varda did the first transaction using CPSMS in the country for JSY payments. So CPSMS is now completely integrated with Aadhaar payment bridge. So it's a smoothened process now, and CPSMS now has been made compulsory by the Planning Commission to be used for most of these DBT payments. Now the other side is the actual field delivery, what was mentioned. The big challenge for us is like DBT, the withdrawal part, for something like NREGA, which is going to be wage payments. We are putting money in the bank already because we are in a EFMS electronic transfer already we are doing it. What is a better step? Doorstep payments to the beneficiaries, pension payments, doorstep. JSY, why we were very happy with our result was, we put money in the day the delivery had occurred on Wednesday. Thursday morning we acknowledged it on the system. The file was processed. There is a mother child tracking software, MCTS, that sends a file to the CPSMS, and the CPSMS accepts the file and then it goes into the banking system. So around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning we put the money in the file in the CPSMS. By 12 or 1 o'clock, the money had reached the account of the beneficiary the same day. And by 3 o'clock, we sent our BC with a micro ATM, and on the bed of the hospital, we could authenticate the person's ID and take out the money and give it to the lady right there. I mean, that is all within a single day, which was a technically a great thing. And the impact, the psychological, social impact of this, a new mother getting money in her hands, I think that is a priceless thing. Usually a person in a hospital, the most financially insecure person is the person admitted. He or she has to, depend on so many people for anything. So that is the impact which we are seeing. NREGA is going to be is I think 40 to 50,000 crores of budget. 45,000 crore budget is what, if I remember right. Now, if you are going to put about 30,000 crores of rupees, if it is scaled up in the country, it is going to go in the hands through NREGA. We need a BC network and a good micro ATM setup. Now the issues we are dealing with in Varda, for example, is we got good number of BCs. Maharashtra's innovation is that the CSEs are going to come on platform as a BC. Now the citizen service centers. Now the big challenge is that the BCs have to be trained, and they have to be a viable system. Viable in the sense it should not be it should be a viable employment for a BC, which is not actually happening. Very few people are actually making a living out of being a BC. So the next step, I think, is already with the talk of microfinance, micro mutual funds, and so on as additional income to BCs. I think we have to really work on that. The BC model has to be strengthened, and there's a need for training and standardization.
Can you sum up in 2 minutes, please?
I'm almost through, sir. So the last couple of points I like just to mention is, one is the postal network. Now in a big way, postal network is going to come into the CBS network, and that is also going to change the whole scenario. And I sincerely feel the last mile issues are basically bank seeding. We are trying to work out better ways of seeding it in the bank. And the latest development is like for the, there are new softwares are being developed. There's a DBT application for any government department to enter. There is a centralized application developed by Government of India which could be used. And lastly, I see a lot of business for the private sector in this whole thing. I mean, the number of applications that can be developed on micro ATMs, for example. When people are making apps for iPads, they could start making a lot of financial apps for micro ATMs. And I think it's high time that the micro ATM itself needs to be redesigned, made simpler, more user-friendly and so on. In the long run, we see the entire phase of district administration changing. And lastly, I'd like to mention what we are trying to do. We are trying to set up a district beneficiary database where a single person is across so many schemes. I am a fertilizer lifting person, I have a kerosene account, I have LPG, maybe I am drawing some kind of pension. So we would like to know whether the single person has across the board. And similarly, if there are multiple accounts, and there must be one account designated as a DBT account, things may be made simpler. And having said these things, there's a lot of hard work and a lot of support is required from all the, in fact, as representative of the dais, from all the sectors, the banking sector, the BC and the technical side, and Pandey sir and Agrawal sir has been continuously tracking and helping Varda, without whose support we would not have achieved what we have done. So I thank both our IT secretary and Pandey sir, and I thank the organizers for this opportunity to be here and share my experience. Thank you.